Twilight the Terrible by Arcade Striker JK5. Last chapter epilogue. The flight to Ponyville took longer than normal. Celestia was still weakened, but insisted on flying there under her own power, in order to even see a small part of Equestria. Twilight and her family were hidden away in the Carolot Palace, with several trusted guard ponies standing watch. Nightmare Moon and Luna flanked Celestia as they flew across the sky. 4 guards ponies pulled a double-wide chariot with Twilight Sparkle, Rarity, Pinkie Pie, and Applejack in it. Rainbow Dash and Fluttershy, meanwhile, flew along beside them. Rainbow Dash glanced down as they passed over Whitetail Wood. She let out a low nigger and slowly shook her head. Dang. Didn't realize how bad it really was. Fluttershy quickly looked down, then locked her eyes straight ahead.
Normally, you can't get a full view unless it's from the air.
They arrived at Ponyville. A large crowd, almost the entire town's population, was gathered outside the main gate. You know, why is it that every time these scenes play, Sailor Moon's song, Brand New Day, starts playing in my head? Almost all the raiders were off to the side, bunched up. None of them were restrained, but guards lined the perimeter of their group. About half of them had plates half filled with food in front of them, mostly hay with some apples and other assorted plants. Mayor and Commander Dash were out in the front of the crowd, the former without her heavy red jacket, and the latter wearing only her oversized helmet. Mayor gasped as the group landed. She slowly walked forward.
Even in my wildest dreams, I didn't think it was possible. For 5 years we've watched and struggled and fought and died. Now it's back! The sun's returned!
She thrust the throw leg in the sky.
You did it, Nightmare Moon! Just like you said you would! You brought back the sun and saved Princess Celestia!
The rest of the ponies slowly made their way forward. They began talking to each other. Their words blended together at first, but several voices rose above the general din.
I can't believe she did it! She saved us all! We can grow fruit properly again! What a tale to be told.
3 cheers for Nightmare Moon! A loud cheer went up.
Huzzah!
Oh no, you could do better than that. Huzzah! Come on, a little louder. Huzzah! Pinkie, liven them up.
You got it! Come on, everybody! 3 cheers for Nightmare Moon!
Wow! Got you! Pow!
Thank you, Pinks.
You're welcome!
Nightmare Moon stepped out, away from the rest. She held up a foreleg, waiting for the crowd to die down, before she swept it in front of her and spoke.
Citizens of Ponyville, as promised, the sun rises once more over Equestria.
She swept her foreleg to her right and motioned to Celestia, standing just behind her.
And Princess Celestia, my sister, is now fully restored to her former glory.
Celestia waved to the crowd. She opened her mouth, but the crowd suddenly surged forward. Her jaw hung open as most of them gathered around Nightmare Moon, some cheering while others bowed deeply. Some walked up to her, and she smiled and bowed her head to them. She glanced over at Nightmare Moon talking with the crowd, and her smile grew larger. Luna leaned in close to Celestia, and, in a voice too low for the crowd to hear, asked,
How are you holding up?
Celestia shrugged.
I'm glad. My sister is free and better. I'm glad Equestria can heal now.
Her gaze turned to the raiders, still huddled together under guard.
Although that healing will take some time. Where the hell will it go?
Luna followed her gaze.
It won't be easy.
She glanced at Nightmare Moon, and she conversed with the ponies.
Aren't you going to speak up?
Slowly, Celestia nodded shook her head.
I'm going to hang back unless she really needs me.
Her voice dropped as low as it could go.
I like to see just how changed she really is.
Nightmare Moon suddenly raised her head. Her eyes narrowed as she stomped a hoof on the ground, sending everyone hopping into the air.
Commander Dash, bring your raiders forward, she bellowed.
Commander Dash gulped and shrank back slightly, but suddenly stomped forward. Gilda, lightning dust, broke from the raiders and walked beside her. The crowd around Nightmare Moon parted as they approached.
Okay, so, what is it? Are we going to jail now? If you're going to do anything, do it to me. They followed my orders. I'm the leader here.
Nightmare Moon snorted and rolled her eyes.
Oh, please. If I wanted to wipe your entire party out, I would have done so when you first attacked. No. This land needs a healing, and the ponies must come here together to rebuild. I'm willing to pardon you in exchange for you and some of the raiders staying here in Ponyville to protect it and to help the surrounding area recover.
Lightning Dust's ears perked up.
Hey, that doesn't sound too bad. If we organize, we can get some cool uniforms like the Wonderbolts have. Oh, and badges too. Can we have badges, please?
Gilda rolled her eyes and slapped her face with the palm of her hand.
Pshaw, Lightning, just don't, okay? Just don't.
Commander Das hesitated. She glanced away and scrunched her brow. Then looked back up at Nightmare Moon.
What about Cloudsdale? I mean, it's my home. I just can't abandon it for the small town.
Mare snorted and turned her muzzle at that. Nightmare Moon smirked.
The more they change, indeed. The raids you and possibly others conduct for Cloudsdale will quite obviously cease. I suppose you could go back to Cloudsdale to represent the central government, but those left behind here need a leader. Is there anyone else here who could fill your horseshoes, Commander?
Commander Das glanced to her left and right.
I got Code Good Candace right here.
She pasted a grin on her muzzle.
Gilda, Lightning Dust, what do you either say to a promotion?
Gilda's beak wide open and her feathers flare.
Sure, what? Wait, what? A little sudden, don't you think?
Lightning Dust meanwhile rubbed her chin.
Do I get a nice office?
Gilda rubbed Commander Das's head. Turned around so she could look at her head.
What time do I start?
Nightmare Moon chuckled.
I believe we have 2 viable candidates. I leave you to hash out which one stays.
She waited for the 3 to walk or fly off before shifting her gaze to the left.
Mare, in 1 week's time you will report to Canterlot with a new set of reports. I need everything on concerning Ponyville, Whitetail Wood, and the surrounding area.
She dropped to her knees. Long enough that her head was level with Mare's own.
And I promise, this time I shall give you a representation the respect it deserves.
Mare's eyes watered. She nodded furiously, then rose to all 4 hooves and turned around.
Okay, listen up! Carrot Cake gets home. Send him and belonging to you to City Hall. Rarity, I need a full update on the defensive position. Big Mac and Trixie, get to see Delva Makers.
Rainbow Dash leaned in close to Applejack.
Can we take her home with us?
Applejack slid her hat down over her muzzle, but her body shook betraying the laughter bubbling up. Nightmare Moon slowly turned. Looked at Celestia and winked.
I trust my decisions are agreeable to you. You didn't step in, so I presume they were.
Celestia chuckled slightly and nodded.
Okay, got me there. Yes, I agree with what you said.
She stopped and shook her head.
Forgive me. I just don't know what to call you. You're not Luna, but you're not Nightmare Moon. At least not to me.
She raised her head and stared at Nightmare Moon's helm.
I'm sorry.
Nightmare Moon's jaw clenched, but she offensively waved Celestia off.
I am Nightmare Moon, Celestia. Don't get me wrong. I realize the magnitude of my sins, and the horrors I would have inflicted upon this world if I had succeeded. But I am no longer just Luna.
She went to Celestia's left, and Luna standing there.
That is Luna. I am not.
Celestia closed her eyes and bowed her head.
I suppose for now that will do. Nightmare Moon.
Oh, I got a beautiful name for her. We can call her Nyx. Ow, 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 ow.
Nightmare Moon swallowed, and her mane and tail sailed slightly.
As for you and your 6, words alone cannot express my gratitude for your help.
She held up a hoof and waved him off.
I know I already said thank you, but it still feels inadequate for your deeds.
Luna reached out and patted Nightmare Moon on the shoulder. And as I said, that's what friends are for. This Equestria has a touch of heat, and that's all we need. Rainbow Dash spoke up.
Although, I don't suppose there's a chance we could get a stained glass window in the palace.
She shrugged as the Airfighters turned and glared at her.
What? We got 2 back home!
Fluttershy spoke up.
Pardon me for asking, but what about the Wendigos? Are they still around?
Luna stilled to the air. They are retreating. Their presence is a menace, but they're still a threat. Celestia blinked. Wait, Wendigos? Nightmare Moon rubbed her chin.
At least this time we know of them and their threat. All that we can do is stroke the fires of friendship to keep their chill at bay.
She looked up to Celestia.
The Wendigos not destroyed the Firestick cavern have been making their way south to take advantage of the strife during your incapacitation. Celestia smiled. Aren't I supposed to be filling you in on the latest news instead of the other way around?
Nightmare Moon nickered.
Trust me, Celestia. I've put my hoof into my mouth on more than one occasion considering news and reports. I have a lot of work to do in order to gain your trust and respect.
Celestia nodded.
And I will be with you every step of the way, Nightmare Moon.
She licked her lips.
That still feels weird to say.
Applejack cleared her throat. Ahem! Pardon me for asking. How long before we all head back to our own Equestria? I mean, I know we gotta get back, but you see, there's a certain couple of ponies back at Sweet Apple Acres I'd like to talk to. If that's alright. She scuds a hoof over the ground, kicking up a small cloud of dirt. I mean, if it's...
Can you be back in about 90 minutes?
Twilight Sparkle asked. All the others nodded their approval. Twilight Sparkle walked up to Applejack and winked.
I think I know who they are, so go on ahead, Applejack. We've got time.
Applejack swallowed and nodded. That's a blast, Twilight. She rears back and whinnied before spinning out and galloping off into the general direction of Sweet Apple Acres. Drexley! Bang Mac! Way on up! I'm coming! Twilight chuckled as Applejack sped off. She turned around to the other bearers.
Okay, we've got some time before we head home. Any ideas on how we can pass the time?
Her head suddenly darted back and forth, as she only counted 3 ponies.
Wait, where's Pinky?
Rainbow Dash started the foreleg to her right.
She's alright.
Over in the crowd of Ponyville residents,
Pinkie Pie could be seen next to Cupcake and the Cake Twins.
She bounced up and down, Pumpkin hanging onto her mane, and Pound tunneling up to her hind legs. A tray of muffins was balanced on her head. Every time she bounced, a muffin hopped off of the tray and into the mouth of a nearby pony. Twilight Sparkle nodded.
Okay, no problems there.
Rainbow Dash flew up and circled around Twilight Sparkle.
Hey, Twilight! Any chance I can speak to you for a moment?
She swallowed but quietly chuckled.
I mean, if you're not busy.
Twilight Sparkle arched an eyebrow, but shrugged.
Okay.
She walked off, Rainbow Dash flying by her side. Rarity looked at Fluttershy.
Darling, I'm going to check out my counterpart. Would you like to accompany me?
Fluttershy looked around. She quickly spied Commander Dash talking with Gilda and Lightning Dust.
Thank you, Rarity, but I'll pass, if it's all right with you.
And Rarity's nod, she trotted up towards the 3. Rarity turned and bowed to the 3 princesses.
Then, if you excuse me, I shall be off as well.
Nightmare Moon nodded to her. She waved a wing at Ponyville.
Meanwhile, Celestia, would you care to be shown around Ponyville? I believe it would be most beneficial for you.
Celestia nodded. Her eyes traveled up and down the walls circling the town.
I think you're right. Time to get my nerves stirring, so to speak. After you, Nightmare Moon.
Nightmare Moon nodded. She strode towards Ponyville, Celestia and Luna trailing behind. Rainbow Dash led Twilight around the wall, for the majority of the crowd. They stopped next to a small culvert in the wall. Twilight Sparkle looked up at Dash as she floated in the air.
Okay, so was it?
Rainbow Dash let out a breath. She started back and forth before blurring out.
I'm sorry for acting like a jerk to you when you tried to get me into Dairy Do.
That's all. Wait, what?
Rainbow Dash dropped back to the ground. She blew a straight out of her mane out of her eyes and chuckled nervously.
Well, remember when I was laid up with my broken wing, and you tried to help me pass the time by introducing me to Daring Do, and I called you a egghead, and said how cool it was, and generally being a rude flankhole?
Twilight Sparkle arched an eyebrow and rubbed her chin.
I seem to recall doing something like that, yes.
Rainbow Dash looked down on the grass, and her wings drooped.
Well, I got a taste of that for Commander Dash outside of Ponyville, and it stung a bit. More than a bit, but not a whole lot. I realized how it must have hurt you when I said those things to you. And I guess, hey, this is harder than it thought it'd be.
Twilight Sparkle walked up to Rainbow Dash, placed a hoof on her friend's shoulder.
No need to say anything else. Thanks for that.
She stepped forward and hugged Rainbow Dash.
Remember, you're not Commander Dash. Just like I'm not this version of Twilight.
Rainbow Dash snickered slightly.
Thanks, Twilight.
She pulled away from the hugs and winked.
That was some pretty good advice I gave, wasn't it?
Twilight Sparkle rolled her eyes.
Yes, brilliant advice.
Rainbow Dash's stomach suddenly growled. Her cheeks flushed as she pulled a Daisy's talons out of her saddlebags. She held it up to her muzzle but stopped,
With a bare clarity, she tore it in half and gave the larger piece to Twilight. The two ate in companionable silence as they made their way back around the wall. Fluttershy slowly approached Commander Daz, Gilda, and Lightning Dust. The three had their heads close together.
Excuse me.
She stepped closer, craning her neck down.
Excuse me. I don't mean to be a bother, but...
As they continued conversing amongst themselves.
Excuse me. If you're not busy, could I talk to you for a moment? If you're not busy, that is.
Commander Daz's ears twitched. She looked up over at Fluttershy. Well, to be honest, we kind of are. So let her groan as Fluttershy shrank back. Okay, fine, what is it? Fluttershy sucked in her breath.
Well, I hope that things work out for you. You figured out how to save the Ponyville. So nice your friends needs help. Then you get Ponyville needs help too, but if you work together again, maybe this will be fun. Come on, come on!
She quickly turned to dry it off, eyes burning slightly. I'm sorry about what may have happened to the other version of you, but I'm not sorry she hasn't crossed my mind all this time. Things have been a bit crazy here, if you haven't noticed. Once I turned back to face the three, she opened her mouth, but stopped and hung her head.
You're right. I'm sorry for that. I'm not sure what I was expecting here. You're Dash, but you're not the Dash I know. You're different.
Gilda punched Commander Daz on the foreleg. Cha! Hey, different or not, she's never let Dust take it. Lightning Dust nodded. Punched Commander Daz's other foreleg. First in, last out. Quick and clean. Commander Daz winced and hopped in the air. She rubbed her forelegs and her bruises rapidly forming on them. Thanks, but next time don't show so much enthusiasm, okay? A small smile formed on Fluttershy's mouth.
Well, there's more in common than you think,
she whispered. Commander Daz's eyes turned. Wait, what? Fluttershy giggled slightly, winked her off.
Oh, nothing. Thank you for your time. And whoever stays at Ponyville, it really is a great place. I'm sure you'll love it. Goodbye.
Gilda slapped her back a bit as Fluttershy walked off. Yeah, that was weird. There's no way you'd be friends with someone that lame, Dazzy. No way it's a TARDIS. Commander Daz stared at Fluttershy. Maybe, Gilda. Maybe. Applejack kept pace as Jonathan and Martha Apple galloped all over Sweet Blob Acres, barking out orders to everyone within eyesight and earshot. Jonathan turned back to Applejack as he headed back to the main house. Sorry we haven't had much time to chat, Applejack. But with the sun back, there's heaps of work to get done, and no time to get it done. Martha blew out of breath as he slowed down from a gallop to a walk. But we do thank you for helping us out here. You definitely are an apple to the core. Applejack, grinning widely, shook her head. No problem. Well, thanks. This has been the most fun I've had all day. She tried up between the two and swallowed. I know I said this earlier, but I'm still sorry for the way I acted when I first saw you two. Still wrong on me and embarrassing. Martha and Jonathan both wrapped a foreleg around Applejack and pulled her into a hug. No talking like that, Martha whispered into her ear. Another question or not, you're still family, and you're still Applejack, and you and your friends saved us all, so thank you. Jonathan broke from the embrace and walked into the house. He emerged a few minutes later with 3 apple pies balanced on his head and back. I asked Mom to bake these up for us while on the grounds. He slid one off in front of Martha, and one in front of Applejack, and the last one landed right in front of his muzzle. Take it! Applejack swallowed, and wiped her eyes before leaning down and digging in. All 3 pies were quickly polished off, and the pie plate licked still clean. Thank you, Applejack said. She kicked the dirt. I know I gotta get back to Ponyville, my Ponyville, but I don't want to leave you two. But I know I gotta. My own family's back there, including a little sister. She chuckled at Martha's gas. Back where I came from, you had one more daughter named Apple Bloom. Gets to all sorts of mischief, but smart as a whip. Writing and Bing and Smith are also waiting for me too, so... Martha and Jonathan hugged her once more. Just look up and look at the night sky when you want to think of us or your parents, okay? We'll love you, and we'll miss you. Applejack closed her eyes as tears streamed down her cheeks. I'll miss you too. She slid out there and embraced and wiped her eyes. I love you. She turned for the gate that led out Sweet Apple Acres and jumped back to Ponyville. Jacqueline, Big Mac, and Trixie suddenly emerged from the house. Jacqueline held up a hoof and shouted out, Applejack, what? Applejack skidded a bit and stumbled, regaining her footing and spinning around. Wait, what? She turned up and Jacqueline smiled. Well, good to see you too. She tried back as Jacqueline, Big Mac, and Trixie walked down the stairs to stand by Jonathan and Martha. Jacqueline extended a hug to Applejack. I just wanted to say thank you, not only for saving Equestria, but helping me get past some issues I was having. Applejack pressed Jacqueline in, and Sue shook. You're welcome, and thank you for making me realize how badly I treated my own aunt and Uncle Lawrence. I'll write them up the first chance I get tomorrow. That's a promise.
Trixie spoke up. Applejack, your name and deeds will be immortalized in story and song. I, the something Trixie, will make sure of it.
She leaned forward and held a hoof over her mouth.
Princess Nightmare Moon's already asked me to construct a performance in story of this day. Can you believe it?
Applejack chuckled. You'd be just the man for it, Trixie. Jacqueline looked at Jonathan, then to Martha. Speaking of my aunt and Uncle Lawrence, I'll have an announcement. One month's time, Trixie, Big Mac, and I are to head back to Manhattan. Martha gasped. She reached out to Jacqueline, then placed a hoof on her shoulder. Jacqueline, are you sure? Jonathan nodded. Seems a little sudden. Jacqueline half smiled and nodded. I don't know if they're alive or dead. It gnaws at me. When the sun returned, I'll have a chance to find out. They did so much for me. It's the least I could do. Martha nodded. I've wondered every day since you and Tracy showed up at our doorstep. I hope Sis is all right. But we don't know, do we? She choked back and sobbed. Just be safe, all right? Big Man tapped his chest. That's why Trixie and I are growing up, Mom. It's far too dangerous for her to go alone. Tracy and I will be back. Don't worry about none of that. Martha blew out a sigh of relief, but quickly looked at Jacqueline. Wait. Big Mike said he and Trixie be coming back. He didn't mention you, Jacqueline. Are you? Are you standing here? Jacqueline brushed her hoof against the orange-shaped main pin in her hair. If they're alive, then yes. If not, I'll return with Big Mac and toss to Trixie. She held up a hoof. Now please, don't try to dissuade from me, Jonathan nodded. Far enough, then. Here's hoping the two make it through the no stang rides in one piece. Take a discourse of action now. Jacqueline trailed off and arched an eyebrow. Come again? Jonathan barked a laugh. Jacqueline, you're a mom and I love you. I want you to be happy. And we know you were happy in Manhattan. See how the Lakers, well, it ain't for you. Not where you belong. Manhattan is, though. Martha half smiled. And I'll give my half foreleg for Mosey and North Serpent to be alive. I'm just smiling because I love the Manhattan verse. So as weird as it sounds, stay a while there, okay? Just don't forget the rat. Jacko smiled and wiped her eyes. Like every day. Thank you, Mother. Thank you, Father. She went straight to Applejack. May I ask you your thoughts, small counterpart? Applejack stepped right up to Jacqueline and tilted her hat. I think you're doing what's right for you. And I'm hoping your old aunt and Uncle Lawrence are all right. I belong to Sweet Apple Acres, but you're not me. That's not wrong. I'm sorry for not seeing that earlier. Good luck, Jacqueline. Jacqueline tilted her own head to Applejack. Good luck to you. Back where you belong. Applejack backed up. She blinked away the sudden moisture in her eyes. Okay, if I don't go now. She spun around and galloped off, tossing a "See ya!" over her shoulder as she left. Martha rubbed her eyes. I'm a-going to miss her. Jacqueline slowly nodded, and I still too. She brought a fresh perspective in my life, though not taking a physical form. Tracy chuckled.
Wish you turned out to be an old-fashioned farm mare instead of a Manhattan socialite.
Not in 1,000 years. Applejack galloped full speed, all the way back to Ponyville. She quickly arrived and spotted her 5 friends standing near the main gate. Luna, Nightmare Moon, and Celestia were there as well. She slowed down and approached. Well, looks like the game's all here. She swallowed. Oh, but I didn't keep you waiting. Giant Sparkle leads her off. We just got here, Applejack, and we're all ready to head home. Rarity nodded.
Indeed. I cannot wait to get back to my boutique and start creating again.
The laddie here is pleasant to talk to, but her sense of beauty's been a bit stunted. Understandable mind, but still, I need to beautify, to make art.
Celestia bowed her head to the ponies.
I cannot thank you enough for your actions, my little ponies.
Twilight Sparkle looked up to her.
Princess, if I may ask, what's going to happen to the Twilight this reality?
I mean, it wasn't her fault, right? It was an accident! Okay, how she handled it might not have been the best, but she meant well. Celestia paused and shook her head.
I truly don't know. I wish I could have an answer for you, Twilight Sparkle. But right now, there hasn't been time to consider it.
She leaned down and gently nuzzled Twilight Sparkle.
But I can tell you, I'll make sure she's treated well and given help.
Narrator Moon rubbed her horn and sighed. You do the best we can for her. It's the least she deserves after the trauma she's gone through. You're right. It wasn't her fault. Luna smiled at Carapot. You really have come a long way. Already? Narrator Moon stepped forward and spread her wings out. Her horn flared to life and crackled with pent-up magic. She glanced to Rainbow Dash.
Well, your actions here. A stained glass window and a statue in the royal gardens.
Speaking of statues, you might want to bring out a hammer to a certain statue in the Royal Canterlot Gardens. Just saying.
Yeah, you don't know who's going to show up or pop out of that statue. With that, a long pole of magic stretched from her horn. She sliced the air, cutting a hole open in space itself. Her horn's magic brightened. Go! Fluttershy and Rarity and Pinkie all ran through the hole. Applejack glanced over his shoulder once more before falling. Rainbow Dash flew through, followed by Twilight Sparkle. Luna looked to Celestia. Your road will be difficult, but together you can make it. She turned and galloped through the hole and back to her own Equestria. Across the gulf, Princess Celestia glanced up at the sky. She and Spike were still outside of Ponyville, waiting on the return of her sister and the bearers of the elements. She had met with several government officials, making sure she kept her appointments.
I hope Luna returns soon,
she said as the sun lowered in the sky, and the sky turning dusk.
She was always better with the night.
She probably also signed some autographs, blessed a few foals. Spike yawned and stuck his stubby arms out. I hope they're back too, but I'll be here until they get back. He clenched a hand to his fist and shook it in the air. Celestia smiled at him.
Twilight and the others are lucky to have a friend like you, Spike.
A gust of wind pricked up. A swirling, crackling hole in space ripped open. 6 ponies and 1 alicorn tumbled out, ran into each other, and landed in a tangled heap in front of Celestia and Spike. Twilight Sparkle kicked and untangled herself from others. She stumbled about and rolled her eyes. Now I see why Nightmare Moon was so loopy when she got here, she muttered, face green. Spike gasped and ran over to her. He wrapped his arms around Twilight Sparkle's neck and steadied her. Twilight! You okay? He leaned in and closed and narrowed his eyes. Wait, are you okay? Twilight Sparkle leaned into his embrace and wrapped a foreleg around his shoulders.
Oh, Spike, I'm so glad to see you again. And to see you're small and intelligent, too.
Spike broke the hug and looked at Twilight Sparkle. See what? He placed a palm on her forehead and rubbed his chin. No fever. Did you get into the high star over at the other Equestria? Rainbow Dash flew up and away from the others. No, but I know what I'm going to be doing tonight. Applejack, remember that barrel you were talking about? Applejack rose to all fours and nodded. I think I'll have a barrel right beside you, Dash. Well, after I get Quill, Inkwell, and Scroll, and fire off a letter to main hand. Several of them in fight. I'll make a promise, and don't go back on my word. Luna's horn flashed. See, Pinkie Pie, Fluttershy, and Rarity all disappeared. They reappeared a moment later, upright and none worse for the wear. Pinkie hopped up and down.
Thanks, Luna.
She bit her lip. Her cheeks puffed out as she held back a massive yawn.
Oh, I think I'm too pooped to party until at least tomorrow afternoon.
She slid a calendar out of her mane and saved to pieces.
Oh, maybe tomorrow midday if I have some coffee.
Celestia walked up to Luna and hugged her tightly.
I am so glad you're all right. What happened over there?
Luna leaned into the hug and tilted back, with Celestia over. You're right. Praise Zachary! You're right. Celestia arched an eyebrow.
Okay.
She broke from the embrace and walked to Twilight Sparkle and Spike.
My prized pupil, please. What happened over there?
Twilight Sparkle suddenly leaned back on her hind legs and hugged Celestia's chest.
Oh, Princess, I'm so glad to see you're all right.
Celestia blinked. She reached over and patted her student on the withers.
Thank you, Twilight. I suppose you can wait a bit?
Luna walked over to Celestia's side and draped a wing over her.
Believe me, it's going to be a long story.
Nightmare Moon walked through the halls of Canterlot Palace, several scrolls floating in front of her. Over a dozen ponies trailed behind her. One by one, she floated a scroll to them. Finally, she stopped in front of the door and turned to them.
All right, we've gotten a lot done, but there's even more to do after a good night's sleep.
See him over her mouth and yawned loudly.
Even alicorns get tired, especially after a day like this.
One of the ponies, Fancy Pants, unrolled his scroll and looked it over. Jolly good, Princess, but are you sure there's nothing else we can do? Is there anything we can do for you, besides?
Another pony says,
Righto, there must be something we can do for you.
Nightmare Moon's cheeks reddened slightly. She held up a hoof and waved him off. No, I appreciate it. But the best thing you can do is leave me to get some rest for tomorrow.
With that, she turned, opened the door to her new room, and walked in. Inside was a relatively simple room. A few pieces of furniture scattered about. 2 doors that led to a bedroom and bathroom, and a large balcony that overlooked the street below. Nightmare Moon walked up to the balcony and looked down at the ponies below, then up to the night sky. A true night sky, with the moon hanging overhead and stars shining brightly. A warm breeze blew through the air, just enough to rumble through manes. Nightmare Moon's eyes darted back and forth at the large numbers of ponies still out and about, either by themselves or in groups. More than one stopped in their tracks and waved to her, shouting greetings and cheers. Nightmare Moon grinned and quickly began waving back and forth, even as fatigue seeped into her bones. You know, normally a smiling Nightmare Moon is kind of a scary thing, but seeing a very happy, grinning Nightmare Moon waving to every pony is so adorable.
Didn't you say something about getting rest? It's not good to ignore your own advice.
Nightmare Moon continued waving as Celestia walked up behind her.
Well, they're waving to me. It's not like I can just ignore them.
She laughed. Ha 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 ha!
Thank you. I love you too. I love you being out here for my glorious night.
Celestia grinned at Nightmare Moon.
I've made sure to cultivate an appreciation for the night among the populace over the past 1,000 years, to make up for before.
Nightmare Moon turned and faced Celestia. She narrowed her eyes.
All right, Celestia. Young Twilight is hidden away. You're better. The sun is healed, and I'm out.
She cantered around Celestia and into the room proper. Her horn closed and the bay windows in the balcony closed, glowing with a noise cancellation spell. Celestia turned and struck back slightly. I'm sorry! She dropped to her knees and began crying. I'm sorry I didn't try harder. I'm sorry I did that to you. I'm sorry I didn't notice or do something to help you out. I'm so sorry, Nightmare Moon!
We can go back and make everything right.
Nightmare Moon turned and looked over her shoulder at Celestia.
You're kidding.
She spun around and knelt to Celestia's level.
You're kidding, right?
Celestia gulped and looked down slightly.
What do you mean? I failed you!
Nightmare Moon's expression changed to confusion. After a moment, she rolled her eyes.
Sweet Sakura, you're not kidding. You really blame yourself for my actions, my atrocities and crimes.
Nightmare Moon dropped to her knees and placed a hoof on Celestia's cheek.
Celestia, look at me. Look at me!
She waited for Celestia to lock eyes with her before continuing.
Don't blame yourself. Not for what I did, for what I was going to do. That's on my horn, do you hear me? That wasn't your fault.
Celestia sniffed.
But the other Luna got through to you. Why couldn't I do that? If only you had bludgeoned me over the head and forced me to fully confront the sheer magnitude of my crimes through dreaming. If only you had time between me trying to blow a hole through your chest, then an eternal night, which would have killed every single thing in Equestria and beyond.
Nightmare Moon slapped the forehead with a hoof and slowly dragged her face.
Okay, Celestia, I'm going to tell you something. You may not believe it's true. Ready?
Celestia nodded. Nightmare Moon leaned over to her ears.
You did the right thing. I'm glad you stopped me.
Celestia looked away.
Doesn't feel right. Or I did the right thing. But it still was. Trust me.
There wasn't anything you could have done differently. I was out of control, and the same with petty jealousy. Nightmare Moon extended a hope to her sister. But now my mind is clear, and you're well. It's time to heal Equestria. Let us do it together. Celestia looked up. She wrapped her forehead around Nightmare Moon's, stood up, and drew her into an embrace. Together it is, sister. Like we were meant to. The end! And as soon as I get up here, review! Sorry. Foot fell asleep in the studio. Anyway, good golly, this fic. It's fun, entertaining, and highly enjoyable. What can I say? I love a good alternate verse. If I got any complaints, they're minor and nitpicky. Sometimes there's some small grammatical errors here and there that even I could point out. And sometimes I do feel like it's a little short, but a teacher of mine once said, that's a good thing because that means I want more. And I always crave more when it comes to alternate realities. This is why I'm looking forward to so much to the season 5 finale where we're going to have alternate timelines, the main six trying to fix said timelines, and of course the episode before it is also one that features a great song that I can't wait to hear. But I digress. Everything else, well, it's typical Arcade Striker stuff. I.e., it's really good. It's kind of like when I pick a Descendant fic. You people know what you're going to get, right? You know when I start reading a Descendant story, you know what you're going to get. This is the same for Arcade Striker. Great comical moments that are very silly and cartoony. Some really nice character interactions. Some good heartwarming moments. And cannon wielding like a son of a gun. This is what he's great at. Well, at least that's what I believe. And that's what makes a lot of his stuff so entertaining. Kind of like the fights at the end here with Twilight and Spike. They felt very show-like. Don't get me wrong. My heart will always love a good, intense fight scene with Twilight wielding swords, magical blast of heresy flaking about, heresy blast hitting heresy blast, monster versus monster, etc., etc., etc. Rainbow Dash launching sonic rainbows, blocking out punches like nobody's business, Applejack being awesome, that type of thing. I will always love that. But I'm going to be real here, and having fights like that is not exactly in the spirit of the show, and we're not exactly always going to get those. I was shocked by the awesome battle with T-Rex. I was shocked by the fights in this Camelot wedding. We're not always going to get those. No, more likely we're going to get fun little fights like, say, with Spike in the early chapter, where they remember, oh, that's right, Spike is a baby in this world, so you reprimand him, he's going to cry. And suck on his little tail, and be cute. Which brings me to Twilight. What's important to remember about this fight is that she wasn't T-Rex, and she wasn't a Discord or a Chrysalis. She was a child, acting out because she felt like she had made a mistake. And as thus, she was crying, whining, and throwing temper tantrums. You didn't need to have a really epic duel with her to get the point across. But then again, despite her actions, what was also great about the story was that we took time to explore what was really important. The characters and what this world was like. What can I say? I really loved them. While Pinkie Pie and Fluttershy's alternate selves are sorely missed, and in this author's opinion, what happened to them was Pinkie Pie decided to stay within the Rock Farm. She's currently making everybody happy, and she's the current co-owner and has made Limey Pie a lot more reasonable. Fluttershy has gotten lost somewhere in the Equestrian wilds, but is currently known as Flutter Queen.
Queen of the Jackalopes. And has used her powers for good. Thank you. Also, Chrysalis's absence is sorely missed. Kane's absence is sorely missed as well. But for everybody else, I love the different types of future we got with them. Jacqueline feels like a very reasonable, more mature, and far more stern Applejack. Rainbow Dash is using her loyalty to protect everything that she cares about. And Rarity is more focused. You're not so far off the radar of who they are. It's just that time has changed them and fixed it. I also liked how we looked into the effects of what Eternal Twilight would do to everybody. Not as bad as Eternal Night that we saw back in Book of Harmony, but still pretty bad. Even to the point that Wendigos were showing up. Ugh. And that's kind of scary. I also love the main six here. RK always seems to give me a really good representation of the main six. Once again, another great strength of his. And there is no change here. Everybody's acting perfectly in character. Pinkie Pie shows off what she does best by being happy, cheerful, and even stopping off the road to actually say, "Hey, it's okay, Cups. I'm perfectly fine," and try to cheer her up, because that's what Pinkie Pie would do. More importantly, that's what they would do in general. I love the fact that the moment Nightmare Moon said, "Hey, I'm in trouble. I need help," there was no ifs, ands, buts, or whys about it. It was just, okay, get the elements, go in, we're gonna save the day, and bring home snacks. Leroy Jenkins! Because they're heroes. That's what they do. The moment they put on those elements, their normal lives are gone. They became heroes. And a hero doesn't ask why. They do. There was no, "But nobody asked us to do it." Or, "But nobody told us to do it." No. They heard there was trouble, they went and did it. That's just what they do best. That's what happens when you put on emblems that represent your heroism. And even when those emblems are gone, and they have rainbow power, well, it just proved that what was deep inside of them all along. That they bear the elements proudly. But going back to what I was also enjoying, I also love Rainbow Dash being very protective of Fluttershy throughout all this. Very kind and caring for her. Applejack's desire to see her family was really remarkable, and also seeing just how Sweet Apple Acres ran itself. I also gotta admit, I am kind of surprised at the Trixie and Big Mac ship. This is like the second time I've ever encountered it. The first time being at the room. And it kind of gets silly. And I gotta admit, it is the most interesting ship I've ever encountered. And quite unusual, so I applaud. Even though this Twixie fan must prefer something else involving a Twilight. I also liked how Nightmare Moon was reformed. Nightmare Moon keeps acting out in anger and in rage. And when we do this, we don't think clearly. We don't realize the problems of some of our actions. So for Luna, Eternal Night is a full-on recommendation. But when you actually have time to think about it and have somebody explain it to you slowly, then that's when the process starts. And this helps Luna grow into being, Nightmare Moon, into being a hero for this world. What kind of hero that happens in the future? I don't know. What kind of journeys will this happen? I have no idea. But I can tell you one thing. Sunset's going to have a big surprise when she pops up. Ding! Oh, come on! This story was, as I said, fantastic. A great and enjoyable experience all around. But what do you expect from RK Striker? He's like one of the more popular and more used authors on this show.
it's nice having sometimes a fanfic author that you are sure of quality when you get to it. That you are sure you can relax to. You know you're not going to expect any bad stuff, and you know you're not going to expect less than good work. That's what you get when you get a good author like Arcade Striker. Somebody who really knows what he's doing and gives out some excellent storytelling. Then again, considering the fact that his stuff is one of my more popular things, I think that explains it all. Well, that was one down, several more to go. Join us Monday for a very special tale. Okay, roll it. Twilight Sparkle is dead. Of this, there's no doubt. I saw her body. I watched as they buried her. The mayor who taught me about caring for others, the mayor who taught me how to be a friend, is gone. She's dead, and I can no longer see her again. A hero has fallen. A world has changed. Can't believe she's really gone. We'll move on. We have to. Friends have been separated.
I miss her so much.
An old friend pays her respects.
I'm sorry. I just wish there was more I could have done. I wish I could have said goodbye. Sunset? What?
But perhaps, in their own way, things can be different. Girls! You'll never go to believe what I just heard! And maybe, with just a little luck, I don't believe it. It can't be.
Why would? But there she is.
Destiny and lives can be saved. Twilight! Coming soon to this channel. Feedback. Then after that, it's Heartwarming Eve and Character Lot. Everything is ready to welcome a new arrival.
Uncle Shiny, my name is Nix.
Put your bells.